In this monument lesson, we're going to look at Synth 2. Now on the score, the first time this happens is on bar 34, and you'll notice it down here, okay, and it's written in the treble clef. So the first thing we need to discuss is just where it comes in, and you'll see that it comes in here, bar 34, just during this first chorus, and then it also comes in during this next chorus at bar 53, and they're almost identical. Now, what I do need to say, same as I said with Synth 1, is this is a really complex part. My piece is a good development, but it's nowhere near exactly where I want it to be, and it doesn't actually match what they've got so far. I've used a few techniques that are okay, but they're not ideal. Ideally, when we're doing frequency modulation, firstly we'll use the frequency modulation synth, and secondly we'll try and control all of the frequencies and all of the automation changes within inside the synthesizer. I've not done that here. What I've had to do is actually use automation, and I'll explain how I've done that, and hopefully you'll either use that method or you'll actually find a better method or a better preset inside of a synth. So here it is. Here's the original part that we've got. So as you can see, the first note, and all of the notes in fact, are written on A3. And this is kind of a nice part because it just all blends in together. The texture for it, or the actual sound texture for it, is quite dense. It kind of, although four notes are written and 5 notes are written, it's just this thick texture. You can't actually pinpoint out those individual notes. The instrument that I've used for this is the ESE, which is just this nice simple synthesizer, and I've just changed a few parameters from the default preset, and just having a look at the cutoff, having a look at the resonance, and then adjusting the attack and release until I'm quite happy with it. So that one's okay. It was the second one that I really struggled with, trying to get this frequency modulation sound. So if I just play you their track, just so you can hear this kind of whooshing sound where it kind of goes, the pitch goes up in frequency and then comes back. It's buried quite deep, so you'll have to listen quite hard, but here's their track. So hopefully you could hear that. And let me just play you what I've got, just so you can hear what I've got. And it's, like I say, it's still a rough mix, but it should give you a good starting point. And that's identical for both this part here, this chorus here, and this chorus here. So I've just copied these two over once I'm happy with it, once I've got it right. One thing you would have noticed if you were looking over in this region is that the frequency was bobbing around, and as was the volume. And that was important for the techniques that I've used. That was important to do. Once again, these same techniques can be achieved inside of the frequency modulation synth, which can be found down here. I haven't used this one as I really struggled with it, but just be aware that if you're willing to spend the time, you can get exactly the same results, if not even better, without all the technical automation, just by using this synth. So let's look at the Alchemy. Now, the Alchemy is only available if you're using Logic X 10.2, okay? So that this is part of their new version, and it's a really nice synth. The filter synth that I'm using here, which is a preset, almost did the job. I've just changed a few things to do with the ADSR envelope and to do with the XY pads. I think that's pretty much it, but I will share this screenshot so you can have a look at that. Before we move into the automation, just to say that this is slightly panned off to the left and right. I've got a feeling that you could probably put an auto pan over this to give it a bit more life as well. So here it is. Here's the technical bit. Here's the bit that's taken me all this time to do and try and make it sound like the original. So we've got a frequency manipulation. If I bring this up, and we've also got a volume automation. So if I just drill down and then zoom out, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing here. And we're just looking at Synth 2 sweep. So I'll just get rid of this top one. So that's what we're looking at here. And as you can see, I've set up this parameter here, which for me is this bandpass filter. And I've just put a nice little bit of gain on there, really quite a high gain. And it's just sweeping backwards and forwards using the automation. So it starts off at about 240 Hertz and then it goes up towards the middle, and it's quite a quick incline, and then it decreases again, and it's pretty much the same. The timing part of this, if you were going to do it this way, takes quite a bit of time. In order to complement this sweep, you've also got to use a bit of volume automation where it kind of comes in. With this particular synth, there's all kinds of doubling effects that will kind of distort the sound that we're trying to achieve, and that's why I've kind of dropped out the complete sound until I'm ready for it to happen. So let me play it, and just keep your eyes on this and keep your eyes on the volume. And this time I'm going to play it with my whole track. So let's take this out of solo. Let's make sure we've got the original track muted, and let's just play it from here. Okay, so it did an okay job, but you'll probably be saying to yourself now, you know what, that's not the sound, and you're completely right. I'm still a little way off, so I will keep tweaking this, or I will man up and I'll go and have a look at the FM2 and try and get it working that way. If I do change anything massively, I will kind of show you during the mixing stages. So get those parts in, spend a bit of time layering it, and I'll see you in the next lesson.